Good morning. It's Monday. It's Monday, March 20th, 2023. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Dragon Sword. I have a little bit I'm going to talk about real quick. First, I'm really late this morning. Two reasons for it. One is stuff that I'm going through, and two is daylight savings time. So it's actually about 7:30 according to my internal clock. It's not 8:30. But in fact, the clock on the counter over there says it's 8:30. So the issues and some of the stuff that I'm trying to sort out are why I'm late. There are a couple of things that we want to pay attention to, and I talk about this, that we want to pay attention to in practice that are so connected with what I'm going through. And that, again, that's why I'm late, because at 7 o'clock this morning, I was not prepared to stand here and teach. Wasn't going to happen. What I might have stood here and done was not going to be what needed to happen. What is not going to, wasn't going to be what I'm doing right now. Okay, it's going to be something different. And that's the point, right? I spent some time looking at what am I, what am I feeling? What am I going through? What is the problem here? And there's a list. And how am I going to deal with it? What am I doing? And looking at my own ability. And that was the key. That was the key. Now I'm going to talk about that in a second. Let's set this cup down. My own ability. Not what this person taught, not what that person taught, not what I learned over here, not what this. Right now, today, my ability. What can I do? That part of how we approach what we're doing as we learn the arts, as we learn anything, really, that make it mine. I can't do what someone else does. Won't ever happen. Can't. I can't. I'm not them. Right? So, what can I do? That focus and that emphasis, not on over here, but in here. And how do I bring what I have to the art? That is the key. And that's the key to, so very many things. But it's one of the most important things to pay attention to in any of the movement arts. Any of the arts, really. But we're talking about movement arts right now. If we don't at some point take what we've learned, blend it with who we are, blend it with what we know, blend it with what we can do, and come out with something different. It's the same, but it's different. That process goes from I'm trying to imitate something to I'm doing this. And that change seems like a really small change. It's not. It's a really big change. Feet about shoulder width apart. Bend the knees. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. And circle the front. Back around to both sides, up along the center line. Stretch out. Not too fast, not too slow. And again. One more time. Fingertips reach up. Elbows drop down. Wrists, hands return to your sides. Leg stretch. Right leg front, left leg back. We're going to take it easy today, so just a little bit easy. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Sing. Hip to the heel. Other side. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Sing. Push the hip to the heel. And come on back up. Alright. We have one new move that we're going to work on this week, and I talked about this previously. So, the format that we have, Monday, today, I'm going to introduce what we're working on this week. Okay, so this is, I was just working on this morning. So, unicorn separates and extends. You'll understand when I do it. We're going to work on this. So today I'm going to introduce it. Okay, we'll work on it. We'll work on what we did before, and then we'll work on a connection, the next move. Tomorrow we'll go through this in detail. Okay, on Wednesday we put it all back together from the beginning and work forward. So each day will have some little bit different emphasis, and there'll be a little bit different material available. I actually got everything up to date yesterday. Oh yeah, I forgot, that was one of those announcements. Do a little warm up with the sword. I'll do the announcements. Seriously, did a little warm up with the sword. Down, down, down. I want to down slice, right? We're not going to turn it over this time. It's just down and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. Alright, so I changed the navigation on my website, and I cleaned up a bunch of pages, so it's easier to find stuff now. So what's going to happen is with the Dragon Sword class on Monday, today, I'm introducing what we're going to do. And that's pretty much it. I'll cover the fundamentals, pay attention to what we need to do. On Tuesday, okay, relax. On Tuesday, I'm going to post the details, okay, for whatever movement we're working on this week. And on Wednesday, we'll review and we'll connect everything. So that way there's an easier and a more defined progression. And I'm hopeful that it's going to make it easier to learn, okay? It's going to make it easier for me to teach, for sure. So that does help. All right, we have, and I'm just going to do this real slow, all right? And then we'll work on it together, all right? I'm just going to do this real slow. So feet together, stand straight, right? That's not real slow, but opening here, right? One, 2, 3. That's it. Alright, so as we're here, I'm in here. 1, 2, 3. Hand stays with the wrist. Again, I'm gonna slow it down. The next move after this is gonna take a little bit more. All right, so I'm I'm going to do that just so you, because I'm talking about it, so you know. So relax. We're going to relax for this week. We need a little bit more to do next week. So as I step through here, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And it does go faster. Okay? So that's next week. This week, here, I do want that step. I do. I do want to take that step. Yep. I do want to take that step. 2 steps. I'm going to go back and check in my notes in a minute, but right now we're taking 2 steps. Where we need to end up, right, is here. Where am I? Okay. There. And I'm going to pay attention to this for a second. The differences and the, well, what about this? What about that? What am I doing here? What am I doing there? Right? That thought process. Here. Do I want to be here? No, I don't. I don't. No, I don't, really. I don't. I want to be here. I do. I do. This is... No. Yes. Alright? And that sense of placement, where do I need to be, right? How does the movement work? Okay, so I personally, and I'm done my talk, but this is part of learning and remembering what you're doing. Okay, so when we learn something, it's one thing to follow. I'm learning this, I'm going to follow. At some point, we have to stop following. We have to go do it. That was that part of, I'm talking about making it your own. You have to go do it. You stop following, go do it. Now what happens? Oh. Whoops. All right? That does happen. It's like, well, but what was I was doing that I did, this is what I feel like doing. I'm going to do this. Right? And we make adjustments according to how we perceive what we're doing. We do. We're supposed to. That's how we get there. And sometimes it's correct and sometimes it's not. How do we know? How can we tell? Well, I watched the video. That's what she did. Yes, this is true. This is how we learn. Okay? So if I spend 20 years, I didn't, I wish I had. If I spend 20 years going to class every day, not just when I could figure out the budget and get myself to China, I'm going to go every day. And I'm going to practice every day, and I'm going to learn this, I'm going to do this every day for 20 years. I'm going to get pretty good at it. And it's going to be very difficult for me to do something else. A different move. because it will have been so tightly integrated, each move so tightly integrated that I couldn't do anything else. I can't. It ain't gonna work. I have to think hard about doing something else. That part of practice is something we absolutely want to keep. Absolutely want to keep that. Now, because it informs what we're doing, right? Now, I haven't practiced every day for 20 years. I'm just learning. I'm just trying to figure this out. Now what? Well, hey, look at the video. Watch the video some more. Yeah, that's one day, one version that, depending on what kind of day I was having, it could be good or not, right? So, how do I tell? How do I know? What's it feel like? I'm going to go back to that idea that this is a martial art. What am I doing here? Right? As I step through, I know what that is. I know what that is too. No. Alright? That sense of what am I doing here is how we can measure, how we can check, how we can verify, how we can know, is this correct or not? So I'm here, turn here, step here. I think about it for a minute because I got to go the other way. And let me do this. I'm here. Alright? I could do this. That's better. Possible. As this comes down, step. Which is stronger? Which makes more sense if part of the idea behind is that I'm traveling, that I need to go? It's supposed to go. I'm supposed to be going that direction. Right? That makes sense. Could doesn't make sense if I'm trying to go this way. Where am I going to go now? I can't do the next move. Oh. Right? I'm here. But now I can't, it doesn't work. That understanding, right? I'm here, step, step. With the step, it makes sense, right? All right. The sword method. So, talk about the stepping method, paying attention and stuff. I'm going to put this all back together. Step, right? As we're moving here, slice down, slice up, and come under.
This comes up from underneath, right? So I'm here, down. As I step, keep going up, come around, and up. Down, up, around, up. Let's do this a couple of times. And just stand still. Down, up, around, and up. Okay, the left hand stays with the sword. Okay, so not stiff, but it's here. Not out. It's okay. So we just did this. It's supposed to be back here. Now we're going to do a couple things. It's supposed to be right up here. Down, up, under. Again, down, up, under. And keep going. Down, up, under. Down, up, under. Down, up, under. Look familiar? Down, 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 right? Down. Turn it over. Come up, up, right? We did this. Yes, we did. Right here. Okay. Down, up, under. That pattern, if we pay attention to, and I'm going to talk about this just for a second, then we're going to do this. If we pay attention to down, up, up, right? If that's all we pay attention to, we don't get the finesse that comes with understanding where that pattern is. So down, round, and around. Down, right? Down, up, under. Down, right? Down, up, under. It's simpler than I want to make it. Okay, I like complex things, so yeah, I want to, if that idea of making it your own, right? My inclination, I know this, been doing it for a long time. My inclination is to make things more complicated than they need to be. Now, I've learned, I have learned that that inclination does not always serve me well. If it's something that is inherently complicated, then I'm a really good person to throw at it because I can do it. But if it's something that should be more simple, I have to stop for a minute and I have to look at it. And as I do that, some of that complexity that I imposed, wasn't there, I imposed it, starts to disappear, and it becomes much more simple, much clearer. And I will say that that clarity and that ability to see what should be there and get rid of the junk is part of what I learned from Professor Lear. There's no fluff and puff. It was he has a long history and a long resume in the martial arts. He's really good.
And as I would watch him move, I could see this emphasis that I'm talking about. I could see where that was. I could see clearly exactly what he was doing. There wasn't any, it wasn't, it was clear. All right, that skill, that clarity that he had, is something that I learned from him. I developed that. Not, it wasn't, I can't, again, I tend to want to make things more complicated. But that skill at precision and what are we really doing here? Yeah, I know what we're doing here. Not a question. All right, that understanding comes from clarity, and it comes from not adding, not making extra. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then this turns over. Okay, and it's up here, not up here. Nope. Yes. We want that, and again, that clarity as this comes up. This is a slice up. It's not, let me tickle you, right? There should be force behind it, and it does have an emphasis. Once we finish this move, we start something with a little bit more flourish, right? That's the flourish, right? So, paying attention to how the sword moves, and just how does the sword move, and what does it feel like when you're holding it and when you're using it. Okay. Just this new part, and so we're going to start here. Right foot front. Step up. That's it. That was it. All right? Seriously. I'm just talking about this. It's simple. All right? That was it. One, two, three. Seriously, 1, 2, 3. That, again, as we move, I got it. Hang on. Every time I turn around, I have to figure this out again. All right, so we're here. All right, 1, 2, 3. Do it again. Get the right foot. We just turned, remember? Right? This is right after the turn. 1, 2, 3. Again. Left foot front. Step 1, 2, 3. Again. No. How did I know that? How did I know that? How did I know that wasn't right?
Besides that, I just called out left foot front. I just turned, right? I have to be here. Step 1, 2, 3. Left foot front. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, it does go faster. At 1, 2, 3? Yeah, it does. All right, so, look, I'm checking for space here behind me here. All right, left foot front. It's not that we forget any point of emphasis or any opportunity along the path. But as we pay attention to, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It becomes easier to connect and extend through the blade for what we're trying to do. So if the goal is slice down, if this was sharp, I would want to be able to slice. Not whack, slice. Okay, and notice slice. That little bit of pull at the end, slice. It's not, let me slow that down. First one, straight down. It's not that we can't do that, but, okay, straight down. Second one, down, and I'm going to pull to that direction just a little tiny bit, and I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Just that much. Set the wrist and pull. And it's not, again, it's not pull this way. It's there. Just that. You can feel it. On the edge of the blade, you feel it. Alright? And you want to feel it all along the edge of the blade, all the way out to just beyond the tip. Not just right here. Okay? Whole blade. As we slice down and then up, right? So, left foot front, step 1, I'm making this really small, step here, down, slice, right? Step, come up, and under. Let's do this from over here. Left foot front, left hand back. Not over here to the side, it goes behind you. And step 1, 2, 3. And I'm trying to not hit the shelf here. One more time. I got more room than I thought. All right, good. Left foot front. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Last step. I'm good. 2, 3. All right. Each time we move, yeah. Think about that for a minute. Have to think about that for a minute. I'm going to double check on the stepping. Hang on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, each time, paying attention to what we're doing, how we're doing it, what the potential opportunities are. I can take 2 steps, I can take 3 steps, right? So, 2 steps, 1, 2. Alright? 3 steps. Which is better? 2 steps gets me further. Does. 1, 2. Versus 1, 2, 3. Which one is the one that I learned? Not sure. Seriously. I've got to go back and check. And I talked about this at the beginning of class, and I'm going to talk about it now at the end. As I'm going through Dragon Sword, there are a host of things, a whole host of things, that I need to pay attention to and I have to deal with because they're part of what I've learned. As I go through that process, I am developing, this is the good part, this is the good part, okay? I am developing a new sense of what I'm doing with this particular form, how I'm doing it, and I'm building a more refined understanding of each and every move that I'm working on. I think that's a lot of that. I'm happy that I am. If I was perfect at it, I wouldn't learn anything. Seriously. If I was already perfect at it, I wouldn't learn anything. So now I have a very specific question. Okay. And this is something that I went through repeatedly. As I was learning, I'd practice. I had practice on my own. I couldn't go to class. Class was 10,000 miles away, literally. Got lots of frequent flyer miles though. The practice that I did, I had to say, okay, what am I doing? How do I do this? What am I looking at? What is this? And then I had to sort out each move. All right, I could do it this way, and it makes sense. Well, I could do it this way, and it makes sense. Which one is correct? Sometimes it was one or the other, and sometimes it was neither. 1, 2, 3. Yep, works. 1, 2, 3. That works. It's not as solid, but it works really well. And if I'm moving more quickly and I want to travel, it works a whole lot better than trying to stop and do each one. Now, which is more correct? This one? Alright? Tried doing that before, it didn't work. 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, 2, 3. I can move from that position to the next position no matter which foot is in front. Well, I could practice both. No. Alright, now, I'm going to think about something and just think about this for a second. The unicorn suspends is the name, part of the name of the move. I got a Qilin, a unicorn. I have to look up the pronunciation for suspend. And moves through. The unicorn suspends and moves through. That suspend in the middle. We don't actively do that. We don't look for that. We don't try and do it. I just tried to do it. We don't do that. Okay? No. 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 But if we think about how the names of things and how the character of the movements are part of the traditional names of the movements, that makes sense. That suspend in the middle. Step up here. That makes sense. Now, again, I'm going to check on this just because this is what we're doing. The point of my putting something out here that is imperfect. That's the point of practice. We're not perfect. That's why we're practicing. Okay, so as we practice this movement, okay, so this is fairly simple, straightforward move, right? We're here, left leg front, step through. This is for sure, right? Now we have an opportunity to work that more quickly with one step, to work it more slowly with 2 steps, right? So 1, 2, 3. Right? Practice both. Just a little bit. Practice both. Pay attention to the idea that, pay attention to the sword, right? As we step through here, pay attention, slice up, come around, and through. That direction with the sword, pay attention to that, pay attention to turning the waist, and I will, after class this morning, I'm going to post the correction on this video, and I'll also put it up with the post on the website, and we'll talk about it. I'm going to talk about it a lot tomorrow. Again, this idea that it's not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But paying it, how do we learn? All right? If I'm perfect, if I do everything perfectly, how can you learn anything? There's never a mistake. You're going to make a mistake. I made mistakes when I was learning. How do you learn? You look at the mistake, you look at what you could do, you look at what you should do, and you try to find where that balance is between how you remember it, what you're doing with it, and how it feels according to the principles that you're trying to apply. What are the principles? Well, we got a dragon sword, and we have a couple of things that go with this particular form. What are those? What are those principles? How do we apply them? Right? At the very beginning, how do we apply them? This isn't, oh, I'm going to get here today. Nuh-uh. I'm ready. Go. That application of movement, dynamic, force, is what we want to pay attention to. If it's not there, if it's not available, if it's not possible, it's a question. Whether I can do it today or whether I can do it tomorrow, that's a, yeah, I can fiddle with that. Is it possible? Is it possible? What are the possibilities, and what does it feel like when I do this particular movement in this particular system with this particular emphasis? Can I? Or not? If I can't find that center of force, if I can't see where there is an application, right? I can't see that. Why not? Why not? Asking that question of yourself, not me, I'm happy to look at what you're doing, but asking that question of yourself, putting it all into context, looking at how your body is aligned, how does it feel when this sword comes down? What's going on there? Once you find that, it becomes oh so much easier to do all of the other corrections, because even if it's only one move, you can instantly apply that to all the other movements that you're doing. Okay? It may not be perfect, it's not going to be correct, but the idea behind that, you now understand what's going on with this, that can be applied to everything else that you're doing. All right. I'm going to stop for today. I appreciate your patience and my being late this morning, and I was chatty today too, so there was that. There's a part of who we are that is fundamental to the art that we practice. It's an art, it's an art. And as we bring more of who we are and what we can individually do, each of us can individually do, to that practice, we develop ourselves within that art. I appreciate you being here. I'll be back tomorrow with more details on these two moves. Right? There's only two this time. There's only two. All right? And we're going to get ready for what we're going to do next week. Thursday and Friday, Wudang Qigong. I hope you'll join me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I do.